Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, 4 people have been fined after hundreds descended on Tasmanian streets to march against anti-protest legislation. The new laws would impose harsher penalties, something furious advocates say is dangerous for democracy.
Passionate in their fight to not be silenced.
Say it loud, say it clear. Protesting is needed here.
New anti-protest laws are sparking fury from Hobart's CBD to Launceston's Civic Square.
If it's passed, which it likely is, removes the action of youth being able to shape their own future. It silences public voice, and that's how history's been made, through public voice.
A march on the streets in the capital led to police stepping in. No arrests made, but several participants were fined.
Based on what we understand is organising an unauthorised walk.
Grassroots Action Network Tasmania were behind the event, supported by prominent union members who voiced their fears about the legislation.
The Tasmanian LGBTIQA+ rights movement was born in protest.
The right to protest on fundamental issues like health, education and a raft of other social issues will become more difficult.
The government eager to push the changes through to protect workers' safety.
There has been a lot of time and debate devoted to those issues. We think we've got the balance right.
Having already passed through Tasmania's lower house, the new laws would mean peaceful action like this could result in hefty fines or jail time for simply taking to the streets.
They've had 4 attempts at this bill, and it's clear that the public and civil society just don't support it.
A final verdict will be handed down when Parliament returns.
Whilst there is something to protest, we will always be protesting. It doesn't mean that we're going to shut up about it.
Protest rights are human rights!
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
A well-loved Tasmanian wetsuit business is assessing the damage tonight after a fire broke out in its Goodwood warehouse this afternoon. Emergency services were on scene, bringing the blaze under control within the hour. No one was in the building at the time. The damage bill remains unclear at this stage, but investigations are underway. Meanwhile, a fire has caused $230,000 worth of damage to a property in the Huon Valley. Fire crews were called to Craddock Hill Road at Craddock at around 9:30 last night, finding a house destroyed on arrival. It took around an hour for firefighters to extinguish the blaze. The cause is believed to be accidental. Police are appealing for witnesses following a crash on the Midland Highway last night, which involved one of the Force's brand new highway patrol cars. It's believed the Kia Stinger was performing a U-turn near Oatlands when a grey Mazda travelling behind collided with it. The officer was taken to the Royal Hobart Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, while the occupants of the Mazda were not hurt.
Investigations are continuing to happen by crash investigation services, and with every police vehicle crash, professional standards also maintain an oversight.
The vehicle had only been unveiled on Wednesday as part of a new statewide crackdown on dangerous driving. 2 people have died overnight with COVID, while the state government has reported an additional 2 deaths from March and April. Tasmania recorded 514 new cases overnight, a slight increase on yesterday's figures. 17 people are in hospital with the virus, including 1 patient in ICU. After a 2-year hiatus, competitive dancing is back at Launceston's Silverdome. Hundreds of ballroom dancers have descended on the island state to take part in this year's Tasmania Open Dance Sport Championships.
Celebrating a decade of dancing. The Tasmanian Open Dance Sport Championships are in full swing, showcasing the best of ballroom.
We are back and it's bigger than ever.
The
the competition drawing in 500 dancers, making it the biggest event to date.
We've got record numbers. We've got kids from the age of 5 right through to kids as old as 85.
This is one of my favourite competitions of the year. It's just such a big space, open space, with lots of people and amazing lighting and things like that. So it just creates a really awesome atmosphere, which you don't get at every comp.
With couples travelling from right across the country, including Victorian duo Glenys and Jason.
This is a really good comp. People, everywhere, all the interstaters come here. So I was like, Jason, we're going to Tasmania.
We have got Australia's very best professional couples here. We've got the very best amateur couples. They've all come to Tasmania because we do it the best. We look after them.
But behind all the glitz and glam comes plenty of preparation.
4 or 5 hours a week at the studio, trying to just get in as much time on the floor as you can to cement those routines and not forget them on the day.
Just come off the floor.
Just come off.
Yeah. So
it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt good.
It felt good. The floor's good out there, so.
Putting the wonderful world of ballroom dancing in the spotlight. McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's whisky experts had their craft on show to celebrate another strong year for the multi-million-dollar industry. 40 distillers gathered from across the state, with hundreds coming through the Princess Wharf shed to taste the selection on offer.
Obviously sharing what we do and our craft and our passion is something that we've missed, I think, and to be back amongst our fraternity again, of course, is always great.
Some did it pretty tough during the pandemic period, but we're coming out of that now. Tasmania is back. Our whisky industry is leading the way.
A number of events have been held throughout Whisky Week, which comes to a close tomorrow morning at Hobart's Farmgate Market. Locally, Launceston have fired a warning shot to Kingborough ahead of their upcoming finals clash, thumping the Tigers at Windsor Park today. Elsewhere, North Launceston scored a vital win over North Hobart, while Clarence were too strong for the Magpies, who remain winless with just a game to play this season.
After a week of gamesmanship and postal talk, Kingborough and Launceston were both keen to show their claws in this top-of-the-table clash. Instead, the Tigers were mauled, an 8-goal-to-1 first term, putting the Blues in prime position.
Be a goal! Oh, how many metres was that, Casey Brown?
Kingborough unable to make headway in the second, the margin still more than 40 points at the main break. Dylan Riley was scoring from all angles, while Jackson Thurlow was a high flyer.
George full forward. Huge fly.
Launceston a little wasteful in the third, but still had a 70-point lead. Michael Musica had a day out, bagging half a dozen majors. The Blues returning the Tigers to sender, scoring a 13-goal win. At North Hobart Oval, the Demons and Northern Bombers played out an entertaining first term, with 10 goals scored. But North Launceston took control after quarter time. Their pressure and ball use just too good for the Demons. The lead 5 goals at halftime, growing to more than 80 points in the third quarter. The Demons' day going as well as the weather. They just couldn't get clean possession often enough. A percentage-boosting win keeping the door slightly open for North Launceston's finals hopes. And at Blunston, it was a one-sided contest in this battle of the bitter rivals. Clarence jumping the Magpies with a 9-goal-to-1 first term. That lead grew at every change, the rampant Roos giving the Magpies a thumping. Clarence going into their pre-finals bye on a high, eventually running out 116-point winners. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
In the NBL 1, the Hobart Chargers men's side warmed up for the finals with a thrilling win over Northwest Thunder in the Tassie Derby last night. The home side's defence was on fire early on, but it would be the Thunder leading at half-time. The lead changed hands numerous times, and with 20 seconds on the clock, there was just 2 points in it. Jamar Sandifer, however, sensationally sealed the 87-83 win.
Sandifer for the exclamation point, and that's all she wrote.
In the women's, Launceston came from behind to record a 76-67 victory. Kelsey Griffin starring for the Tornadoes, collecting a game-high 32 points.
Inside to Griffin, who wants to step through herself on Bradley off glass. Nice basket there by Kelsey Griffin.
Launceston are now waiting on their final ladder position while Hobart's season is over.
Good evening. Launceston and Devonport, the state's top today of 16 degrees, and Hobart and Burnie both 15. Across the state, Smithton also reaching 16, the islands, Low Head, Friendly Beaches and Strawn all 15 and 8 in Lyowini. Extensive low cloud can be seen about the east and south of the state today, with patchy convective cloud elsewhere. Further out, a large area of low-level cloud covers southern South Australia, Victoria, New South Wales and eastern parts of Queensland, while a frontal band covers Western Australia. Tomorrow, a low-pressure centre moves close to the east of Tasmania, bringing a strong, moisture-rich southeasterly airstream over the state. South to southwesterly winds tomorrow 20 to 30 knots, tending northwest to northwesterly in the evening. There is a gale warning for the east, south and west coasts and a strong wind warning for the north and upper east coasts. A severe weather warning is in place for damaging winds and heavy rainfall across southern, eastern and northern parts of the state. A road weather alert for reduced visibility across the state due to that rain in those areas, a warning to sheep graziers for the east coast, Midlands and Furneaux Islands, a flood warning for the North Esk River and a flood watch for the northeast, southeast and Huon catchments. Heavy rain and 14 in Hobart tomorrow, Richmond 15, rain and 13 in Ouse. Rain in the north with Launceston reaching 16, 15 in Devonport, Deloraine reaching 14. 13 and rain in Burnie and Strawn tomorrow, showers and 14 in Curry. And rain also in the east with St Helens a top of 14, 15 in Swansea and Whitemark 13. On Monday, showers continue, more frequent about the south, east and northwest. Showers about the west, south and central areas on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, light showers about the west and far south, increasing to most districts in the afternoon. 19 in Perth and Sydney tomorrow, showers in Adelaide and Melbourne, 22 in Brisbane and sunny in Cairns and Darwin. And Hobart at the moment 11 degrees and cloudy, Launceston 12 and partly cloudy, and Devonport partly cloudy and 11, and lose some wild weather ahead tomorrow.
Certainly seems like some indoor activities are on the cards. Thanks for that, Chelsea. And that's all your news for this Saturday evening. Thank you for joining us. Tom Johnson will be with you tomorrow night. Have a nice evening. Good night.